So, a top tip, high agency. This is an important one, actually. I've been doing a lot of reflection about this in the last few weeks. I get asked quite often, what do the high performing people and high performing businesses that I've crossed paths with or I've worked with, what's in their DNA really when we're working through maturity benchmarking with our clients or where I'm coaching execs and boards on how to scale their business. And perhaps I didn't quite have the right word for it. And then I stumbled across the video from Alex Hormozi, the sort of orator, big thinker in the world of B2C, I guess more so. Guy who's done very well in the States with scaling gym businesses and other businesses and now has a family office that invests in other organizations. But he creates a massive flywheel of content which we've used similar thinking for our other businesses, growth, destination freedom, and more latterly New Street Properties into the tail end of this year into next year. So, but how do we leverage some of that thinking, and what does high agency mean for us in the world of business to business and particularly business to government? So, I guess when I reflect on some of the leading people I've worked with that have really driven growth in businesses, like Graham Keane, who I grew up working for at Mouchel and EC Harris, for instance, those sorts of people, first of all, they act without permission. They ask for forgiveness, not permission. They get on with it. They make stuff happen. There's a real energy. They build momentum very quickly. They adapt quickly to setbacks. They find creative solutions with limited resources. They're constantly thinking, how can we unplug this problem? How can we do things differently, better, faster, cheaper, higher quality? They have real persistence with clarity and purpose in what they're doing. Every day they get out of bed, they know what the objectives are, and they're going to drive to get there. But they own their decisions and the outcomes. So when they make mistakes, they own up to it. They're honest. They have good integrity. So this isn't about being a second-hand car salesman. This isn't about just being a salesperson who's relentless. Although some of that's in the DNA, there's also the other side of the coin to this of owning decisions where we make mistakes, welcoming feedback and evolving quickly, changing quickly, and then maintaining a rational optimism, because we should all be proud of the businesses we work for. Otherwise, why are you working there? And so we should be optimistic about how we can shape propositions to clients using the DNA of those businesses and driving innovation in the business constantly, particularly through bidding, where we're on the bleeding edge of things to drive the business forward. So you'll see there's an article going to come out on Friday by email, Saturday on LinkedIn newsletter, where we talk about the four pillars of agency: having forethought, getting ahead of things, implementing, making stuff happen, but particularly self-management and learning and adopting as we go in how we really grow businesses. Because the amount of businesses and people leading businesses that continually make the same mistakes, that aren't as driven in the right ways as they should be, I come across it all the time, and it's not wildly difficult to fix. We just need to engender the right thinking, the right philosophy in some of this. And so do take a look at that article when it comes, and we're going to do some more on the idea of high agency. I'll put a couple of links into that blog post on Friday and Saturday to some of the research that we've done, some of the articles we've looked at from Psychology Today, and for people like Nick Wignall, as well as Hormozi stuff. And hopefully you find it useful. But just think through, it's not just about engendering a DNA in our people to have that energy. I would also think through, and we'll probably do some more content in how do we bake high agency into the approach, the processes, the systems of your business. How do we create gateways that are far more than just your commercial stuff, that really get us thinking about how we can do things differently for clients, how we can co-solution with them. I'm thinking particularly in the capture stage, but in the bidding stage too. So hopefully you find that useful.